everybody, and today we are going to the interior for this house. So we are going to do the flooring, the walls, doors that open, and lights that turn on and off on a light switch. And we're going to do baseboards. So we're going to start doing the walls. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a basic part and we're going to build around the openings of the walls. And we have it on a 0.2 increment over here. And we're just going to build around the opening, basically. And the reason why we're doing the walls first is because we want the walls to go all the way down to the foundation floor, basically. And we are going to have baseboards and flooring. So it's best to do this first. And we're going to do this around everywhere because this allows us to have different color walls and wallpaper around your house so that it's not all the same. So you may notice that I've left this wall undone. And the reason for that is because I want to show you guys how to do this wall. Since it's a diagonal wall, you want to go to home and then select and then drag your part against the surface and it'll snap to the angle of the surface. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to build around the door here, and the other thing is this corner, which I'll get to that in a second. Let me finish putting this wall up. Okay, so we have this corner here that has a gap. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go to my gap fill. And if you guys don't have this, I'll link it down below. And we're going to have it on best guess. And we're going to go, first we got to make sure this is lined up first. So basically we need to make sure that it's more like that, like a triangle shape right here. So we're going to go top down. The reason why we do that is because if we go from this side, we're going to have this right here, and we don't want that. We want to go top down. And now we have that. So the next thing we need to do is we need to do the ceiling the same way we did the walls. Okay, so the ceilings is going to be the same way. We're just going to um, just put the one of the wall panels on the ceiling basically and just fill in the area. But do it in separate sections because if you're gonna do different color rooms, unless you're doing all white, or something, all the same color, uh, you want to have this to be like in different sections so that it will change color with the room. Okay, so we're going to so we can see, we're going to use our part picker. Leave the link down in the description, and we're going to click the wall color. And if the rest of your house is this color and material, then you'll probably have to select it individually. But just click color material. It'll be blue if it is selected, and then click run filter. And we're going to turn cast shadow off so we can see what we're doing now. And we're going to do the flooring now. And I'm going to show different flooring types. I'm going to show carpet, wood, and tile. And so we're going to start with the rough draft of the flooring, basically. And what I mean by that is I'm just going to put the plain parts down, but I'm going to make it look like, or color code it or texturize it so I know what I'm going to be putting there, or put the base for there as if it's like wood. So we're going to do what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put hardwood, and I'm also going to put carpet after a certain point. So I think right about here, my house is going to go into like carpet. So I'm going to change this to a wood color, and I'm going to make it a dark wood. That's what I want mine to be. And um we're going to change this next piece into fabric. There we go. So set the color of the floor pieces to what you want your color, the carpet or whatever to be. And most houses, they right here, there's going to be a trim. A trim is for whenever you put two different floorings. Like if you have a carpet and wood or carpet and tile, you put a trim because there's spikes around the edges of your carpet to keep it intact. And when you're walking between these two, you don't want to step on the spikes, and that's what this is for. So we're going to have a trim here, and I'm going to set mine as metallic because they are usually metal, and um they're usually like a silver or gold color, so whatever you do is up to you, obviously. And we're just going to just basically continue putting down the flooring and changing the color and texture to what flooring type you're going to put in each room. Okay, so now that we go over flooring down, we're going to start with the wood. And for some of you, this right here alone will be perfect for you guys, and some of you don't want detail. So if you don't want the detail, just skip ahead. I'll try to have some timestamps below. But for the wood, we're going to bring it down a 0.1 stud because we want to be the same height as the rest of the floor when we're done. And our wood panels are going to be 1.1 stud as well. So bring it down 0.1 where all the wood is. And we're going to start with this room here. And we're just going to copy this wood floor, and the first thing we're going to do once we snap it to the floor corner here is we're going to change its size to about 1 stud thickness, and then the length, it doesn't matter. And we're going to darken it, or actually not darken it, lighten it up a little bit compared to your base floor. And we're going to try and stagger this, and we're going to want to leave like a 0.1 gap between each board as well. So about that much. And we're going to try and like randomize this stagger as much as possible. It doesn't need to be perfect, obviously. But basically we want this to have the second row is going to basically come into the middle of the previous crack here, if that makes sense. So basically we want the second row should be centered of this crack here. And then we're going to fill in space with other pieces. And you kind of just have to play with it a little bit to get the way you want. Okay, so now I got it the way I want it to be. And so I'm just going to select these two rows. If you want more randomness into your paneling, then go for it. But this to me is perfect. And we're just going to copy this over the whole floor. Okay, so you can see that there's a little thin gap here. All we're just going to do is copy the one row, and then we're going to just cut thin. This is how how flooring is in real life too. And so for the next room, we're going to copy these first two rows that we did, and we're going to bring them into the next room. And obviously this room is bigger, so we're going to have to do a bigger version of what we just did, basically. And then we're going to copy this row just like before. These two rows. Okay, so now that we've covered this room, we're going to extend these out to the floor carpet. And actually this piece, we're not going to do this, we're going to copy a piece so that there's no Z fighting going on. Now I've had this happen before, and I've had it happen where these were like all different heights, and it can happen. So if you have that happen, just click the paneling and run filter. This is the quickest way to do this and to fix it. So use a part picker and click the floor, and we're going to bring it up. And if it's at different heights, what I do is I bring this up and look at the position number that changes down here on the UI of FDX, and it says 416.501. So we would basically select all of these and put it 416.501. Enter, and then it will all level up out at the same height. So I'm going to go ahead and do the kitchen now. Okay, so now that we got this filled up, we're going to delete these panels that are sticking beyond past the door. And some of them we're going to leave that are like in the vicinity of this, and we're going to basically scale these so that they're just past the base floor. And so basically we're going to scale these so that the corners are just over the base flooring here, and making sure no other pieces of wood stick through. And we're going to copy the base floor, put your move tool on last, and make sure it's flush with the base floor here. And we're going to scale up over these planks and make sure you go past all of the points around the planks. And we're going to go to model, negate, and then we're going to select the pieces that are sticking past and the negate piece, and we're going to click union, and that way it cuts away the pieces. So we have a piece here that is sticking out too far. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to snap this towards the wall. Actually, it looks like my wall doesn't quite line up right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this in two different pieces, I guess. Like that. And if you have this issue, you'll probably have to just kind of mess with it and adjust it so that it's at the point where you like it, or it looks clean. Okay, I got to the best I can get it, and we're just gonna bring this back down. Alright, so the next we're going to do is tile. I'm going to show like a couple different tiles you can do. And the areas that you're going to have tile, we're going to also bring down by 0.1 stud. I only have 2 rooms that are going to have tile. So these are going to have tile, and most of the time tile grout is a white color. Sometimes it's a dark color. And we're going to make the tile 0.1 stud, and we're going to make it a square. And you could do this is a 2x2 stud. You could just do, honestly, if you want it just to be a simple tile, you could just do this and just have these squares be your tile. Another one you could do is do a 1x1 stud, and then copy this, and then in the corners we're going to do like a 0.4 by 0.4 stud square, and we're going to put these in the corners of your we're going to put these in the corner of your main square that you have here, and then set these to a dark color. Actually, you could also set these to like another color too if you want, and then copy your little squares and change the color to a lighter color or something. And we're going to put in this rectangle like in between the small squares. And you could either do that or you could add another layer to the outside. If you want checkers, you would do basically 1x1 stud square. And we would do make it into a square and then like change the colors, and then that would be your checkered tile. Another one you could do is there's a lot you could do. There's this one that you can do like little tiny lines. It'd do like a 0.5 gap. And then you'd like turn these. Okay, so basically you just have the lines going one way and the other way, and you copy it the other way. So horizontal, vertical, vertical, horizontal, and you just even them out. And then you would basically you would just select this and group it and put a 1 gap between. The final one I'm going to show you guys is the final one I'm going to show you guys is the hexagon. And the reason why I'm going to show you that one is because that one's actually a really difficult one to do. So to make a hexagon, we're going to use some wedges. And this is going to take a lot of fiddling. So I'm going to start with a 0.1 thickness, obviously, and then 0.2 studs wide, and then or 0.6 studs wide and 0.2 studs tall. And copy this and rotate it to mirror it. And then copy that, bring it over, and take your square, make it to a rectangle basically. And I'm going to actually scale these out a little bit. And then just keep messing with it until like it looks like the kind of hexagon you're going for. So that right there, I'm happy with it. And then we group this, and we would snap it corner to corner. And the tricky part is we can't exactly move this diagonal unless we rotate it. So we would have to do 0.05 and move it out to the right 0.5 and up 0.5. That way we get this gap here. and then we'd copy this and bring it down to the bottom of this and bring it down 0.5 or 0.1 stud and bring this over here up to the right. And then you have your first section of hexagon tiles. So from here, we would just basically copy and snap together, bring them down. Make sure you bring them down 0.1. Like that. And it's kind of tricky, but it's doable. I think I'm gonna do one bathroom with these hexagons and then the other with this tile right here. I may do that one. I don't know yet, so I'll just put that over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do these hexagons since these are pretty difficult. I do want you guys to at least see how to do it. We're going to snap this to the center of the front of the room, basically the entrance, and we're going to start filling it in from here, basically. And then you'll notice there's like these triangle parts right here that are open. So to fill those up, we would copy the hexagon, and we're going to put the hexagon here in the middle and ungroup it and delete the extra pieces. So you're gonna just need the wedges, honestly. So we just need the top two wedges here, and you can just group these back and then just fill it in. So mine are sticking out a little bit. So I'm going to need to bring this in by 0.05 studs, and then on both ways. So that it is, to make sure it's flush with the floor. It's still lighting, so I'm gonna bring it in some more. Okay, see if that's still doing it. Nope. Okay, so once you have it so that it's no longer Z fighting, we're then going to fill it in. Now we're going to fill in the rest of this room with the hexagons. Okay, so if yours is like this now, you have like this straight line, you can literally just start copying the last two rows that you have here and bring them down. Make sure your tiles are not sticking through the walls. Mine are good. So this is the first bathroom finished with this tile, and now I'm going to do the second one. Okay, so to fill this gap up here, we're going to copy this tile and we're going to snap it to this corner and bring it up. And we're going to leave a 0.1 still, 0.1 gap here. And we're going to ungroup this and delete these two pieces that are sticking up. And then these ones we're going to scale down. So that it is flush with the carpet. And then we're going to group this. And then we're going to basically copy these and leave a 0.1 gap between them. Now we have this room filled. Okay, so now that we've done the tiles and the paneling for the wood, this room I'm leaving like this because it's the laundry room. We're going to do the carpet. So with the carpet, we're going to before we union, we're going to select all the pieces in this main room and hallway, and we're going to union it and make it look like it's all one singular part. And we're going to do that in the other rooms too. Okay, so now they all look like they're all one part. So if you don't want this fabric texture as carpet, you're going to want to find a seamless carpet texture. So in Google, you search seamless carpet texture and find a texture that you're happy with, that's square, like this right here. This is a nice square texture. And okay, when you're looking for a texture for your carpet, make sure it doesn't have like stock or something over it. Like make sure there's no watermark. And sometimes you have to look closely. And like this right here has this here. You don't want that. Though you could in this picture trim this off, but if you look closely, there's some watermarks. This it may show up in seamless, but it's not, and you can tell because of the shadow here and a little bit of shadow here. This right here is flat. There's no shadow anywhere. And you want it to be like that because this pattern repeats. So I'm going to save this image and I'm going to save this in my textures folder. If you guys want a specific carpet texture, I will link it down below once I upload it as a decal. But save the picture as, and on your union, click your union, and then there's this plus sign. Click the plus sign and click texture, and you should get this little blue and yellow little thing here. And where it says texture here, click it, add image, choose folder, and then go into the folder that or wherever you have saved it. And it's best if you change the name because to something else so you know what it is, but also Roblox gets mad sometimes if uh, it gets mad if it's something that they think is inappropriate or whatever. So now we have this texture, and if it didn't show up on the surface like this by default, go down to where it says face and basically scroll through these options until you get this carpet. And you can change the way it appears as well by changing your material. See, it changes in like glossy levels and gloss and such. I'm going to personally put mine at I'm gonna put mine at fabric because it's carpet and carpet shouldn't really be glossy. And if you want a different texture color, you go to texture and you can go to where it says color 3 and click it, and you can change the texture there to whatever color you want. But white is going to be the base color of the texture. So we're going to go ahead and you can just once you're happy with it, you can just copy the texture into the other rooms if you want the carpet to be the same in the other rooms. So we have our carpet, and now we are going to do the door frames. And the reason why we're doing that first is because the baseboard is going to go up against the door frame. So we're going to go back to our F3X and we're going to put in a new part. And we're going to also make this 0.2 studs thick. Actually, 0.4, my bad. I'm going to make this 0.4 studs thick. And we're going to put this as wood. And choose the color of the frame to whatever you want. I'm going to personally keep it in conjunction with the front door here. So I'm going to copy this color and transfer it over. We're going to fill in the entryway with the parts like that. And okay, so we're going to select all three and we're going to click both, and we're going to scale these out by 0.2. And if you have it like mine where it's just flush against the wall, like the doors and windows are flush against the wall, go through and uh select all of the pieces and also scale these out by 0.2 inward. And you may have to do, when you're doing this, you may have to do some individually because it might not want to scale the same as the rest. And the reason why we're doing this is because this is going to have the baseboard flush up against it. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix all my windows. Okay, so now we're going to copy the door frames to the other entryways and just adjust to each door or entryway's size. So now for the baseboards, you can keep it simple by just doing one part about 0.6 and going in by 0.1, and you could just do this. I am going to do mine a little bit more detailed. So for mine, for my baseboard, I'm going to scale it down to 0.2, copy this piece, bring it up, scale it in by 0.1, copy the bottom piece, bring it to the top. And if you want, you can put a wedge in there and like make it look more rounded and stuff. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to bring the sticker pieces in by 0.05 studs because most houses the baseboard isn't flush with the door frame, it's slightly off, so we're going to do that. And we're going to scale this to a corner, copy, bring it around, and snap this piece to this corner. And then this middle piece, if you're doing it like mine, just scale it to the edge there like that. And then for the inner corners like this one right here, we are going to snap this to the edge, not the corner, the edge of this other baseboard. And we're going to scale in the center so that this gap right here does not show. And make sure that to make these flush up against the door frame. And then we are going to put the baseboards everywhere around the base of the floor. Okay, so for this corner here, since this has got this gap fill and we're at an angle, we're going to use the gap fill, and we're going to go from the top, and we're going to start bottom piece, and we're going to go top down like that. And it's not going to put the exact color if you use a custom color. So you may need to select the carpet here and lock your floor. And you select this section here. Make sure you don't select anything else. And grab the color from your baseboards and paste it. And there you go. Okay, so we got all the baseboards. Now, our garage is looking a little sharp around the edges, and I mean, you don't want to see these layers, so we're going to actually add a trim. And so we're going to grab the part of the frame of the garage, and we're going to uh, basically we're going to do about 2.4 and kind of bring this up here. So we're gonna have like a bit of an L, I guess you could say, and our frame is going to have to come in or out like this so that it lines up. So we're bringing it out by 2 studs or 0.4 studs. My bad. So 0.4, and then I'm gonna copy this and put this underneath here. And There we go. And then we're just going to bring this around the edges like this. And this is also how you do like a pool trim too. And then that's our trim right there. Okay, so we are going to do the wallpaper now. And it's going to be similar to what we did to the carpet. So we gotta go and find a wallpaper, a seamless wallpaper texture. It needs to be seamless because it's a repetitive pattern, and um, you don't want it to, look like it's definitely being repeated. So, um, it's best to do black and white. If you find a pattern you like and it's not black and white, go into paint.net and change it to black and white. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so we got our wallpapers now, and some of them are not black and white, and it's best to have them black and white if you want to change your colors. So, like this one has a bit of tinge of blue. So, in paint.net, if you don't have it, I'll link it down below. You go to adjustments, and then all you need to click is black and white right here. Some of these I have more in my tab because I have plugins, but this one isn't a plugin. And it says you could also do Control Shift G, and it makes it black and white. I'm not going to use this one though because it's very pixelated. So first thing we need to do is union the walls, and for the ones that you're going to texture, that is. The ones that you're texturing, you're going to need to union so that it's all one continuous texture and not multiple. And the areas that you aren't going to put a wall texture, then don't union it. Just the colors that are solid. Just like the floor, we're going to go ahead and put the texture in, and we're going to go to texture, and we're going to add image, choose file, and then choose the image of the texture you're going to do, and make sure you change the name so that Roblox doesn't flag it. And we got our wall texture here, and we're going to go ahead and copy that over to the other walls. And if it didn't, if it's not on the wall like before, just go down to face and rotate it till it shows up. And if you want a different colored wall texture, just go to color here, and then you can change the wall color. So now we have this like edge right here that's uncovered. So what we do with that is we gotta paste in another texture, and we gotta change it until it's just this edge here, and then there we go. Now I have this one wall that is like horizontal and it shouldn't be, and that is because the union is messed up. Sometimes you have to kind of just uh play with it, like with the order you select them and union, and sometimes it'll work, but it you may also just need to do. It's gonna mostly happen if you include angles, and you might just need to do the angle by itself. Okay, so this right here goes to show what happens when it's not seamless. It becomes a pattern that's noticeably repetitive. So this is going to be taken out of the equation. I also noticed that if it's not um, a PNG, it doesn't seem to show up. Some JPEGs show up, so you gotta make sure to look at the file type, make sure it's a JPEG or a PNG. You could use Paint.net and convert them all to PNG, if that's better. Okay, so I have finished coloring the walls and decorating the walls and coloring the ceilings. So now we are going to build the doors. So we're going to start with this door. And it's pretty going to be basically like what we did at the first video when we built these doors, but we're not going to have windows. And we're going to go ahead and put a basic part down. And we're going to snap this to the frame, scale to both, and gonna start with the width of the frame. Then we're gonna scale in 2 times, so it should be about a stud thick. And then we're gonna bring this to the top. And if you remember how to do this from the first video on how to open this door, you can skip this part to the next part, which would be lights. So, we're going to copy the color, and we're going to put wood. And then we're going to make this 0.2, and we're going to make it about a stud thick. And we're going to snap this to the door. Actually, we're going to make this about 0.6. And we're going to put this around the door on the edges here. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to copy one of the top or bottom pieces and snap it into the middle. And we're going to scale this in so it's not overlapping. And we're going to do the same thing with the side here, and we're going to snap this to the center of this vertical part. And we're going to bring this up and copy it, bring it down below, just like that. And then we're going to copy one of the vertical center pieces and bring it over. And we're going to scale it in and then outward a bit. We're going to bring it in 0.2 all around, and we're just going to, we're going to just do it the first one, then we're going to copy this whole section over 4 times. So we're going to go and grab a wedge, and this wedge is going to go 0.2 around, and then bring it in. So we're going to have to bring in 0.1 as well, because we don't want it to do this. We want to leave a little bit of a gap here. So we're going to go 0.1, 0.1, and then bring this in. We're going to basically line the inside edge and the outside of this rectangle edge with the wedges. Okay, so when you're done, it should look like this. Have the edges lined. And now we are going to grab a corner piece, and we're going to scale this. I usually start going by 2.2 by 0.2 by 0.2 by 0.2 on here. And then we're going to snap this edge here. Actually, we need to rotate this properly. Okay, so now we gotta scale this in like that, and we got to bring it down like that. So now that you have filled up the corners, we are going to select all of this, and we are going to change the color. Actually, I need to bring this out because I forgot to copy color at the door, and then select all of this. here. And turn cast shadow off, copy the color, and change it to wood. And then grab the center panel, and then we're going to copy this to each of these quadrants of the door. And then you should have that. And then we're going to copy this. If you don't already, I would lock your floor. And if you don't know how to do that, you click the floor and go into the properties tab and then go to where it says locked and click to check it. And then that way you don't accidentally move it around or select it when trying to select the door. So we have to select it at an angle so we're not selecting all the stuff behind it too. And looks like we didn't get anything else. And deselect the frame because we don't need that. And then make sure you have it. We're going to bring this outside so we can work on this easier. So we're going to select and copy the face panel and bring it to the back. And save the game. After that, we are going to select this whole door, and we're going to right click the selection in the export tab, go to export selection, and then save it somewhere you can find it. I save mine in documents, and save it as a door or whatever you want to. And then go to home tab, model tab, insert object, and grab mesh part. You can type it in or find it right here. And you'll need to drag it in, and it'll show up here. I accidentally put like 4. And you're gonna have to F on your keyboard, and it'll teleport you to it. And here they are. Here. We're just gonna drag this up through the ground. Okay, so we got our mesh part. We're gonna make sure to anchor it first and foremost. And we're going to go to this folder and click where you saved it. I saved mine as door. Your mesh contains location data. Just click no so it doesn't move it. Open and just click no. It's just asking if you want to move it to the location, but it just moves it to the opposite of where it's at. So now we're going to take our mesh and we're going to snap it to the original door to get the right position. And once it's all Z-fighting like this, and you have it you have the door in the right spot. And you could just, I guess, snap it to your frame here like that. And we're going to grab the color off the door and also make it wood. Make sure it is anchored. Mine's anchored. And we're going to group this up, cut. You can just hit Control X. And we're going to put it in service door, so paste into. And we're going to name it bedroom door, so that we have it just in case. Next, I'm going to name this door. And then we need to put in a hinge. You'll put this on the side that it's going to open. Cast shadow off, and then change the material to smooth. Transparency 1. And then turn it to can collide off. Name it hinge. Now we're going to make a handle. We can do a couple of them. I'll show a couple. You can do one that's like the bar that you turn down. So you just take a square and then put in another like this. So this could be one right here. Actually, I missed a piece, my bad. You need to put a little bit of, yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. That would be a handle right there. Obviously just gotta change the colors and stuff, but that would be a handle here. And I'm just gonna do like the doorknob, so get a cylinder, scale this down, make it flat, and snap it to the edge, center edge of the door, and then change your increment to 0.1, and then we're going to go to both at 0.1, scale that in a bit, make sure it's centered, and then we're going to flatten this too some more, and then bring this through to the other side, and then copy this, bring it in, and outward. Now we're going to get a sphere, and we're going to want to center it with this. This is a little big, so we'll go a little smaller. And that should be about right. So we're going to bring this over to the other side, and we're going to change the colors. I think I'm going to do mine a bit of a silver. I'm going to group that together. Actually, no, I'm going to union it. So we have our handle, and we're going to name it handle. So now our next step is to grab our hinge, the door, and our handle. We're going to group it. We're going to name it B door 1. You can name it whatever, but I'm going to name mine B door 1, bedroom door 1. We're going to click the group, and where it says primary part, we're going to click hinge. And in the handle, we need to add a click detector. And then in the group, we're going to add script. Okay, so I will have the script, and actually I'll have this whole model of this house and everything you need down in my Discord server. I'll also post it on my Reddit page if you're interested. So we don't need this. The modification we're going to do here, if you union the handle like I did, and then copy it over, delete handle 2, because we won't need that. And we're going to change handle 1 to handle. And everything else should be good. So we're going to go ahead and test this. Okay, the door works, so we're going to go ahead and copy this door to the other places that are going to have this door. Alright, now we're going to test our doors and see to make sure they open open the correct way. And you can change the numbers or you could just remove the numbers. It's whatever you want to name them, as long as you know what they are. So this one opens the right way. That one does too. So this one opens correctly. Now this is the laundry room, and so since the washer and dryer are going to be here, we want the doors to open outward. This one's open inward. So to fix that, we're going to go and click this door, and we're going to go into the script, and all we have to do is change this first line here from -5 to 5, and then this other line here to -5. And it'll swap them around. It'll just open it the other way doing that. So now we go. And now they open this way. Alright, next is the light switch. Or lights, rather, not light switch. So the lights, there's a few different lights we can make. And I'll show you how to do each one. So the first one, we'll do a traditional ceiling light. So we'll need a cylinder and put at 0.2 increment normal. And copy this, or actually make it a little bigger. Go to both. Then copy. And we're going to put this in the middle. Scale it in. And next you'll need a sphere. We're going to scale this in a little bit. And then change these to whatever you want. Trying to go for a bit of a bronzy color. Or a bronzy coat. And then we're going to set this to metal. Reflectance. Not that you can really see it too much. And then with this, we're going to change it to glass. Change the transparency to 0.5. And then copy this sphere. Bring it in. And then change this to neon. And transparency off. And you can either make it a yellow, like a light yellow color, or it's for like a soft yellow light, or you can make it a harsh white light. I think I'm gonna go with a cool yellow to give the house some warmth. And I'm just gonna set this aside for now. I'm just gonna group it for now. The next light we'll make, this is a simple one. It's probably the easiest light you can make. And it's gonna be a recessed light. We're gonna take a cylinder and scale it flat and shrink it down just a bit. And then we're going to copy this, scale it in and outward, and negate that. And change these to the color and material you want. I'm going to go metal black. And union that, you might need to change this too, because it likes to leave the material in the middle like it just showed. So now we have like a black ring. Just need another cylinder. Flatten this, bring it in, and then snap it to the center of the ring we made. Bring it in some more. Go 0.1, bring it in, And then we're going to make this neon as well, and then I'm going to make this white, but I'm going to bring the brightness down because that's very glary, and just make it like more subtle glow. And then I'm going to just group that for now. And then the next light fixture I'm going to make is this one wall hanging one. So we're going to put in another part, a normal part, and put increment back on 0.2, scale it down, and I'm going to make it about 1 stud tall and about, I guess, 6 studs wide. And copy, bring it up, and we're going to make a square. And, well, actually, this is going to be a rectangle first. My bad. And then we're going to actually 0.1, flatten this as well. Bring this down. And this as well. Actually, just copy this. Both 0.2. Or not both, just normal 0.2. Now we make a square. And actually, we're not going to copy it. We're going to change this to wood. Change the material to wood and then pick your color. And then this I'm going to put as a dark metal color. So I'm going to put this as like a 80-80-80 metal. Reflectancy to like 1, I guess. And then I'm going to copy this square and bring it up. And click both, bring it in, put it back to normal. Scale this up, copy. And snap it to the top of that. Bring this down some. Before we continue with that, we're going to get another part, flatten this. And we're going to make it about 1 stud wide and I guess 1.4 long. And we're going to make like a box with the open bottom. This is actually a little too thick, so I'm gonna make this a bit thinner. Okay, so now you should have something like this. It's basically just a box with an open bottom. And we're going to change this to glass, transparency 0.5. And we're going to copy this and snap this to the side of the box. And we're going to bring it down. And we're going to put it around this box. Yeah, just like this box, I guess, and then make sure you don't grab anything else, and snap that to this right here. And it's a little far out, so I'm going to Bring this down. Okay, so I've kind of fixed up the size a little bit. And next we're going to do is a light bulb, a long light bulb. So we're going to grab another cylinder and we're going to flatten this out and bring it in about that much. Copy that, bring it up like that. This is going to be the base of the light bulb. We're going to copy this and bring it down and put your increment 0.05. Bring it out a little bit. And then go back to normal and put it at 0.1. And we're going to bring this down a bit. And grab the sphere. Put it on both, scaled in. You'll need to do 0.05 to get the right size. So it should look something like this. And we're going to change this right here to neon, and we're going to set it to a little bit of a yellow. I think I'm going to go with a bit of a cool yellow. And then change this right here to metal. And try and reflect to C1. And grab your light bulb. Group it. Then we're going to grab the middle of this. And try to snap it to the lamp. So a little fixture here. And should be like that. We're going to copy this. And we're going to try and evenly space 4 lights on here. So we got this. And now the next step is to make a kind of a chandelier for our dining room. And this could be pretty simple. We're going to use this. And we're going to copy the base. And we're going to double the size of this. So this will be our base right here. And we're going to grab one of these. Copy. Bring it up. And then we're going to delete this metal rod. We're going to put this in the middle of the top of the light here. And you can make it a little bit further out. And then we're going to use this. Snap it to the center of that. And you can do it like that, or we can scale these. And copy one of these. And you could do something like that. whichever you prefer. This is more like a lantern style too. And you can use this to make a lantern, which I actually am going to go ahead and make one real quick. Okay, so I have kind of like a lantern type light here. I'm gonna use this as like the porch light, and I'm just gonna use this right here. So back to the chandelier type light. Um, we're going to copy this, whichever design you decided to do, and I'm going to snap this to the base, and then 0.2. And you might want to bring this out actually by another 0.2 thickness, so there's enough space. And we're going to try and evenly space out again. And then we're going to copy these and bring them over. And this top part is still too thin, so we're just going to make it a little bigger. There we go. We have 5 different lights here now. We'll just go inside here and we'll go to the part and rename this to bulb. Actually, this is going to help us later. And we're going to put a spotlight, and we're going to go ahead and put this in one of our rooms so that we can see what we're doing better. And we're going to put it on the ceiling, and you can see that it's at an angle, especially when you click on it. We're going to change this to 180 and change this to bottom. Where is it? Top. Actually. Okay. So if you have it on 90, you can see that top is where it goes. And change the range till this cylinder hits the floor or the circle there. And you'll see the floor light up. If you have it on 180, it'll light up more of the room. And then change the color here to a bit of a faint yellow or a white color, whichever you're wanting. And you may need to put like multiple lights depending on the room, and make sure you have shadows off so you don't see a random light fixture. The same thing, and you'll do the same thing with the recessed lighting here. You go to this, we're going to the neon part, name it bulb, and we're going to insert another spotlight and find which part it angles correctly. This is correct. Change the range. I'm going to put mine 30. And since this is a more of a white light, I'm going to keep it on white. And put it into wherever you're gonna put it. I'll get to putting my lights in later, but these lights here, they have multiple like bulbs. These two do, and this bulb has multiple parts. So you can do one or two things. You can union the bulb parts, like all four of these here. Like you could take the sphere and the cylinder and union all four of these together, or you can just go and put in a normal part. This will be a bit easier, and unions are kind of a pain anyway. But you can take this. It's gonna look ugly for a second, but don't freak out. um, it doesn't really matter how you put it. I'm gonna just put it like this at the base of these light fixtures. You're going to turn the transparency to 1, and we're going to name this bulb as well. This saves us from having to have so many spotlights and having to mess with like the brightness settings, because having multiple point lights in one section can be overwhelmingly too much light, and we just want the one for this coming out of this, so it's not so much light, and it'll be easier for us in our script. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a spotlight. We need to do spotlights for all these because surface light is going to be the whole surface. The bottom surface is going to be a light. We don't want that because that's not accurate to a light bulb. And also, point light is just for like a little light. It's just a light all around that. And that can work too. We're going to make sure this is correct, and that is. And we're going to change the range to, I'm going to say 20 because this is a wall light. And this is going to be a bit of a yellow color. And I'm going to change this. I'm going to keep the angle 90 actually for this. And just repeat the same thing. You could literally just copy this, honestly, and just change its specs a bit. But you can do the same thing for this as well. The only thing I'm going to change about this is the angle and the range. Now we're going to place our lights. Okay, so next we're going to make our light switch, which will be pretty simple. Keep in mind the amount of switches you'll need are dependent on the light fixtures and such. So in here I would need one and one for the closet here. But if I were going to here, I would need two because there's two sets of lights. Now for the light fixture, we're going to go and take a normal part again. Going to put up against the wall. And going to do 0.1. And we're going to make it about 0.6 studs wide, 1 stud tall. And cast shadow off and change the color to whatever you want it. I'm gonna change mine to 80-80-80 smooth plastic. Okay, we're going to put in this thin part here. Gonna bring it out like that, and we're going to rotate this down. And actually, to make this look more like a light switches, we're gonna add 2 screws. Just real quick, this is up to you, but we've got this on the off position. So we're going to name this off. And then copy that. Rotate it up. We're going to call this on. Make sure the first letter is capitalized. We're going to turn the on transparency to 1. And we're going to go ahead and group this up and start placing this around. So I forgot to put a garage door in, so I'm gonna do that in Okay, so we've got our light switches in. Now, to make them turn on and off. So, we're first going to start by grouping them up by them to the switches that they're going to go to. So these are going to go to this switch. This switch is going to go to these. And this light here. So we're going to group those. And we're going to do the same thing with these. To this switch. These to this switch. These to this one. First switch are going to be these two. And then these recessed ones. Go to the second one here. This one is going to be all these garage lights. This one goes to that light. This one goes to this. This goes to this one. This one goes to this one. This one goes to these. Now that we did that, I've got a script that I found. I'll have this available as well on my Reddit page and Discord down below. And so we're gonna paste into, and we're gonna select these models that are in the model and ungroup them. And we're going to add a click detector to each of these. And these parts that are called bulbs, change them to their number, add a number to each one. So bulb 1, bulb 2. And I have these modified so some of them can do 1, 2, or 3 lights. Since this is 2 lights, I'm just going to remove this second line or third line from all these. And if you have more, you would just do the opposite. You would copy this line on all of these and paste it down below, and then just change the number to line up corresponding to your bulbs. And with your light bulbs, turn your brightness to 0. And do that to all the lights. Okay, now that we have done that, let's test it to make sure we've got this all working. Well, actually, first make sure our spotlights are set to 0 brightness on all of them. You can do that by typing spot in the Explorer and selecting all of them. Okay, brightness should be completely off. Now we're going to test. So it's pretty dark. The slide turned on. Now the outdoor lights, just those. Yep, those are on. So we have a light here that doesn't work in this room here. So we'll have to look at the script. And if you notice, these flip up and down now as well. And you know it's not working if you don't have this. I must have forgot the click detector. Okay, so we're going to go look at our light that's not working. It's this one here. Gotta remove the spot from that. And yes, I forgot the click detector. And now that light works. So now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on our cast shadows back on. So it got all dark, as you can see. And now we're going to see what this looks like with them on. As you can see, it's really dark in here. Turn the light on. It looks like I need to adjust some of the lights because it's a little bit dark in some areas, so I'll fix that. So, before I end off, if you want your lights to be brighter, you go into here and you change this number, and this, if you go increase it, it'll go brighter, and if you decrease it, goes dimmer. So I believe 0.2 is like 2 brightness. I think I'm not 100% on that, but you just have to mess around with that and make sure to change both of these. This animates the light so they kind of fade on and fade off. So I'm going to first fix these lights so that there isn't any dark spots. Okay, for the final test. Now this isn't going to be perfect. Um, the ceiling's still dark, and the only way to really fix that would be to um, put a surface light in the ceiling. So actually, I'm going to try that. Okay, so with some experimenting, I figured it out. We do have to do a surface light, and see, as you can see, it makes a big difference having it. This is with it, and this is without, right over here. So to do this, we have to um put a part. To do this, we have to put a part and a regular part like this, and I just scaled mine over the area because the surface light. And okay, so we also gotta bring it up And we're going to make the transparency 1. Name this ceiling. And I have to copy and paste it into the model of the section it's going into, and it's going to of course move, so we'll have to move it back into place, unfortunately, unless you don't have so many parts in your workspace and you can easily just drag and drop, but I unfortunately can't. So we're going to put this into place, gooch it up, make sure it's spelt with ceiling with a capital C, and put in a surface light, and put it at bottom should work. I'm gonna put it at 180, and we gotta make sure to copy the color from the other light, and it helps to turn on the other lights too, so that we know what we're looking at here. So we're gonna turn those on. We gotta change the brightness of the ceiling light and then the range until it blends in like this. So once you have achieved that, turn the brightness back off on all of them. And in the script, I'll have it down below. You'll just go type in, make a new line, type in local ceiling, make sure I spell it right, equals script dot parent dot ceiling dot surface light. So basically you're calling the script the parent of the script, and then the part ceiling over here, and then surface light, which is in the ceiling. So that's what that is, and we're shortening it all down to ceiling instead of typing script.parent.ceiling.surface light over and over. And that's called variable. So we're going to create a new line, and we're going to type in ceiling dot brightness equals ceiling dot brightness plus plus 0.04, because these I found out I was correct. The 0.2 will add up to 2 brightness. So 0.04 will add up to 0.4 brightness, if that makes sense. So then we're going to copy this line right here and then paste it down below here, and the only thing we're going to change is make this minus 0.04 instead of plus, so that it's removing the light. And then you should be able to go and test the game, and it should look as it did when you last saw it, basically. And now the ceiling is lit up. Now, it's not going to be completely perfect because it's Roblox after all, and you can like fidget with this and make it look perfect as possible, but sometimes there's just going to be a bright spot or a dark spot, so it just takes a lot of finicking with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said before, all of this is going to be down in my Discord and open source tab and on my Reddit page. So real quick, with the lighting, you might want to go through and turn on shadows. It does make a difference. See, like right here, makes a difference on the windows. And also, if you go into here to over here, we turn these on, And if you turn the shadows off, it goes through the walls. Turn them on, and it doesn't go through the walls. And it also makes a difference out here too. And that's how you get more of a realistic light.